Krishna. Welcome to all devotees. Now we start today's Bhagavatam class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tata Jayam Udiret Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtiki. Hare Krishna Dandat Pranam. Today we completing chapter 2 of Srimad Bhagwatam, Canto 12. The symptoms of Kali Yuga. From shloka number 31 to 44. Yada deva rushaya saptamagasu vicharanti tada pravritta tu kalihi dvadasha abdashata atmaka yada magabhya yasyanti purvashadam rushaya tadanandata prabhuti esha kali vruddhim kamishyati. यस्मिन् कृष्ण देवं यात तस्मिन् एव तदा अणि प्रतिपन्नं कलियुगम् इति प्राहु पुराविदः दिव्य अब्दानां सहस्र अन्ते चतुर्थे तु पुनः कृतं भविष्यति तदा नॄणां मन आत्म प्रकाशकम् एतेष मानव वंश यथा संख्यायते भुवि तथा विटशूद्र विप्राणां ता गेया युगे युगे एतेषां नाम लिंगाणां पुरुषाणां आत्मनां कथा मात्रा अवशिष्टानां कीर्ति एव स्थिता भुवि देवापि शान्तनो भ्राता मरुच इक्ष्वाकु वंशजः कलाप ग्राम आसाते महायोग बल अन्वितौ तौ इह एत्य कले अन्ते वासुदेव अनुशिक्षितौ वर्णाश्रमयुतं धर्मं पूर्ववत् प्रथयिष्यतः कृतं त्रेता द्वापारं च कलि चैति चतुर्युगम् अनेन क्रमयोगेन भुवि प्राणिषु वर्तते राजन एते मया प्रोक्ता नरदेवा तथा अपरे भूमौ ममत्वं कृत्वा अन्ते हित्वा इमां निधनं गताः रोमे वेट भस्म सज्ञा अन्ते राजन राजनाम्ना अपि यस्य च भूतदृक् तत्कृते स्वार्थं किं वेद निरययत कथं स इयं खण्डा भूपूर्वे मे पुरुषे धृता मत्पुत्रस्य च पौत्रस्य मत्पूर्वं वंशजस्य वा तेज अप अन्नमयं कायं गृहीत्वा आत्मतया बुधाः महिं ममतया च उभौ हित्वा अन्ते अदर्शनं गताः ये ये भूपतय राजन् भुञ्जते भुवम् ओजसा कालेन ते कृताः सर्वे कथा मात्रा कथा सूच. Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. When the constellation of the seven sages is passing through the lunar mansion Maga, the age of Kali begins. It comprises 1200 years of the demigods. When the great sages of the Saptarshi constellation pass from Maga to Purvashada, Kali will have his full strength, beginning from King Nanda and his dynasty. Those who scientifically understand the past declare that on the very day that Lord Sri Krishna departed for the spiritual world, the influence of the age of Kali began. After the 1000 celestial years of Kali Yuga, the Satya Yuga will manifest again. At that time, the minds of all men will become self-effulgent. Thus, I have described the royal dynasty of Manu. As it is known on this earth, one can similarly study the history of the Vaishyas, Shudras, Brahmanas living in the various ages. These personalities who were great souls are now known only by their name. They exist only in accounts from the past, and only their fame remains on the earth. Devapita, brother of Maharaja Shantanu, and Maru, the descendant of Ishwar, possess great mystic strength and are living even now in the village of Kalap. At the end of the age of Kali, these two kings having received instruction directly from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudev, will return to human society and re-establish the eternal religion of man, characterized by the divisions of Varna and Ashrama, just as it was before. The cycle of 4 ages, Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali, continues perpetually among living beings on this earth, repeating the same general sequence of events. My dear King Parikshit, all these kings I have described, as well as all other human beings, come to this earth and stake their claims, but ultimately they all must give up this world and meet their destruction. Even though a person's body may now have the designation king, in the end, its name will be worms, stool, or ashes. What can a person who injures other living beings for the sake of his body know about his own self interest, since his activities are simply leading him to hell? The materialistic king thinks this unbounded earth was held by my predecessors and is now under my sovereignty. How can I arrange for it to remain in the hands of my sons, grandsons, and other descendants? Although the foolish accept the body made of earth, water, and fire as me, and this earth is mine. In every case, they have ultimately abandoned both their body and the earth and passed away into oblivion. My dear King Parikshit, all these kings who tried to enjoy the earth by their strength were reduced by the force of time to nothing more than historical accounts. Purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Although technically Kali Yuga was to begin during the time of Lord Krishna's presence on earth, this fallen age had to wait meekly for the departure of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Just as the dynasty of kings includes exalted and insignificant, virtuous and wicked monarchs, varieties of human character are found in the intellectual, commercial, and laboring orders of society. Although one may consider oneself to be a great powerful leader, he will ultimately end up as a name in a long list of names. In other words, it is useless to be attached to power and position in the material world. Although technically, to this and the previous verse, the two great kings who will re-establish human culture after the end of Kali Yuga have already descended to the earth, where they are patiently waiting to render their devotional service to Lord Vishnu. After death, the body may be buried and eaten by worms, or it may be thrown in the street or forest to be eaten by animals who will pass out its remnants as stew, or it may be burned and converted into ashes. Therefore, one should not pave his way to hell by using his temporary body to injure the bodies of others living beings. In this verse, the word Bhuta includes non-human life forms who are also creatures of God. One should give up all envious violence and learn to see God in everything by the process of Krishna consciousness. This is an example of foolish possessiveness. The word Rajan or O king is significant in this verse. Parikshit Maharaj was preparing to give up his body and go back home back to Godhead. And Sukdev Goswami, his most merciful spiritual master, demonstrated any possible attachment that he might have to the position of king by showing the ultimate insignificance of such a position. By the causeless mercy of the spiritual master, one is prepared to go back home back to Godhead. The spiritual master teaches one to relax one's strong grip on material illusion and leave the kingdom of Maya behind. Although Shukdev Goswami speaks very bluntly within his chapter about the so-called glory of the material world, he is exhibiting the causeless mercy of the spiritual master who takes his surrendered disciple back to the kingdom of Godhead Vaikuntha. Thus, and the purport of the humble servant of his divine grace, S.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada to the 12th canto, second chapter of the Srimad Bhagwatam, entitled The Symptoms of Kali Yuga. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Am Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sahadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishyapanvitancha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Pancha Kalpatarubhecha Krupa Sindhube Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Dandat Pranam. Today we completing second chapter of 12th canto, the symptom of the Kali Yuga, from shloka number 31 to 44. We try to understand what they describe in this shlokas. We heard yesterday that when the seven sages is when Sri Krishna, the husband of the goddess of fortune, touched the earth with his lotus feet, Kali was powerless to subdue this planet. Means up to Krishna is in this earth, though Kali Yuga coming, but his power is not influenced on the and when seven sages is passing through the lunar mansion Maga, the age of Kali begins and comprises 1200 years. Means Kali Yuga's ayu of the Devi years, 1200 years of demigods. And in these ages, after last, when Kalki Avtara came and all thieves, etc., they vanishes them. After that, new Satyuga start, and that time, who is the brother, means brother of the Shantanu Rajas, and the Ishvaku's descendant Maru, both will start Chandramosh and um, Raghumosh, and new Satya Yuga will be started, and this chakra, Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga continuing uh, starts like that. They describe in this. Prabhuji will tell you in detail. Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranam. Pancha Kalpatarubhe cha Rupa Sindhubhe eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo.
Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam Mataji for a wonderful summarization. So, as we have been discussing about this Kali Yuga, and we saw yesterday how in the order of Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali, the cycle of 4 ages rotates in the society of living entities in this universe. So, in reference to that, there was one very good slide, like how many years does it actually mean when we say the time lapse? So, you see here, if you are able to see the skin, so we talk about Thruti, Pran, Vinadi, Nadi, Muhurta, Yama, Oratra, Paksha, Masa, Rutu is 2 months, Ayan 6 months, Varsha is 1 year, and Yuga consists of 43 lakh 20,000 years. So the 4 yugas together. And then you have the Mahayuga, then 71 Manvantaras, yugas make Manvantara, Kalpa is 14 Manvantaras together. So this is how this cycle continues. And then Krishna, in the form of Mahavishnu, he then breathes in. And once Krishna has breathed in, everyone goes back. And then when he exhales, everyone comes, appears again in the material world. So this cycle continues. So ideally, the time for Kali Yuga started. But then because Krishna was already there was no opportunity for Kali Yuga to expand. Though we see little, what I'll say, qualities of Kali Yuga coming up in Duryodhana and his brothers, still because of the presence of Krishna, Kali could not expand at all. He was kept completely under control. And that is what was being said yesterday. So this chapter continues, it gives on the descriptions. And today what we have seen is a brief description of future dynasties of the sun and the moon coming from Vaivasvat Munu in the next Sati Yuga. Even the two saintly Kshatriyas are living, who at the end of this Kali Yuga will reinitiate the pioneer dynasties of Vivaswan and Chandra. So those two kings are Devapi, who is brother of Maharaj Shantanu, and the other is Maru, who is a descendant of Ikshvaku. So they are still there. There is a small village called as Kalapa, in which they are still sitting together. So this chapter is making us aware of all these things appropriately. So Sukdev Goswami ji, Sud Goswami ji is explaining all these things. That when the sages of the Saptarishi, they pass from Magha to Purvashad, Kali gets his full strength. And that begins from the Nanda dynasty. King Nanda and his dynasty. So, if you see the history properly, that it is that day only when Krishna departed for the spiritual world and the influence of Kali began. And this whole influence of Kali, according to this Bhagavatam, Shloka 34, is going to be there for 1000 celestial years. Because after those 1000 celestial years, Satyuga will manifest. And once it is Satyuga, the minds will become self-effulgent. So, this whole description that we saw was about the dynasty of Manu, and which is there on this earth. So, similarly, there is history of the various other dynasties of Vaishyas, of Shudras, of Brahmanas in the various ages. So, they have not been documented in this Bhagavatam. But then, these personalities who have been great souls, they are known by their names. They exist in the past and their fame remains even now. So, two of them are still existing, as I discussed earlier. One is Devapi and the other is Maru. So, these two, because they have got instructions directly from Lord, they will return to human society and re-establish the Vedic civilization, the Sanatan Dharma. So they will re-establish the Varnashrama system. And this cycle continues as it is. Because Krishna wants to give opportunity to all the living beings. Ki please come, complete your bhakti, do your prashchitta, and come back home, back to Godhead. Because you're caught here. So let us understand this significance of how these things are continuously happening. We have seen this, we have read this repeatedly. So, if you remember, even last time I had shared this Vedic time period chart with all of you, and I'm again sharing it today in the chat box, which explains how we are very, very insignificant. And if we still consider ki okay, we can get something, whatever we are striving for, then it is useless. The time, the efforts that we spend after getting something is of no value, because those aspects are all temporary. Nothing is perpetual. The only thing which is perpetual is that, yes, Krishna, Anadir Adir Govinda, he is the only thing which is constant. So that is why we have to work for that. Though this is going to be there for 432,000 years, still we have to understand that this Kali Yuga is not for us. The only thing which is for us is our eternal abode, which is of Vaikuntha, and beyond that in Golok Vrindavan. Only at that place can we have an experience of Chitananda. That will be the place where there will be no anxiety, no problems. Everyone will be happy and will be serving Krishna consistently, continuously, directly. Today is Akshay Tritiya. Akshay Tritiya means that whatever you do, it becomes Akshaya. And it is a very important day from many aspects, because it is this day when, if you are doing any chanting, its results will be inexhaustible, and it will bring us full grace and blessings. Many great personalities have taken appearance today on this particular day. So this becomes all the more important. So this day is very important for us as well. If we chant, remember Krishna, because we cannot wait for the future, which is only going to be more and more deterioration. There will be more and more difficulties which are going to keep coming. So, what is important is to get out of this cycle of birth, old age, disease, and death. And we are very lucky that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself has come and shown us how to get out of this. We simply have to keep on chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The rest he takes care of everything. We have to serve the devotees. We have to serve Guru Maharaj. We have to serve Srila Prabhupada. And that is how we'll be able to please Krishna. And if Krishna is pleased, then we'll get entry into a permanent residence. Our place is still there. Krishna is only waiting for us to actually start our journey back home, back to Godhead. And today, the day when Lord Jagannath told King Indradyumna to apply Chandan on his divine body, the day when Lord Jagannath starts going to Narendra Sarovar in the form of his Utsav Murti, Madan Mohan, for 21 days. He performs Jal Krida today onwards. Day when Lord Chaitanya performed water pastimes and he went to Narendra Sarovar. Today, at Jagannath Puri, carpenters begin the Rath Yatra chariots. So, this day is very important. Even at Ahobalam, the Chandan is removed from the deity of Lord Varaha Narsidev only on this day, and Abhishek is performed. And then again throughout the year, sandalwood is applied. Sesame seeds were created on Akshaya Tritiya day for the purpose of Yajna. So let us celebrate this day by chanting more, by reading more scriptures, by promising ourselves that yes, we will not leave our sadhana at any cost. Promising that we will do whatever it is necessary to ensure that before we sleep, we have completed our 16 rounds of chanting minimum. We have completed at least one page of scriptural reading. We have eaten only Krishna Prasadam and nothing else. And we have spoken to some devotee on Krishna, Krishna Katha. So let us promise ourselves and be successful in our mission of going back home, back to Godhead. That will be the best thing to do on this auspicious day and please Krishna and Radharani. Hare Krishna. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः.